We'll keep the presentations moving, and I'll ask Paul Kilby to come and join us. And while Paul's coming up, he did send me a couple of dot points through, which I have on the computer here. Currently employed by WorkSafe Tasmania, you can see. He's a fitter and machinist by trade, has a background in manufacturing, so well-rounded skills here, Paul. And he enjoys fishing and putting Ks on the Harley. So he may be offering rides after the session today, I'm not sure. Over to Paul, thank you.
Not with this weather, I don't reckon. Thanks everybody. My presentation today is really quite simple. When you think about it, we need to deal with bullying like we would deal with any other risk in the workplace. So it's a pretty simple lesson. In recent years, awareness of workplace bullying has risen, and the growing community acceptance for bullying in the workplace is unacceptable. Today we're going to take a look at the risk management approach. Bullying is a psychosocial hazard. Other psychosocial hazards, which we call hidden hazards, we've dealt with for years. They are related with stress, workplace stress, fatigue, overworkload, conflict and aggression in the workplace. So just some quick statistics. In the last 3 years, there's been 462 claims in relation to bullying, cost well over $10 million, 19,400 lost days in the workplace with the per claim average of $220,000, and that's a lot more claims than physical injuries. The impact on business is high staff turnover, which Cam's discussed, costly disruptions to your core work, costs for counselling, mediation, costly workers' compensation claims, of course, and loss of business reputation. So can I just ask, with the show of hands, who has at their workplace a bullying policy? Quite a few, which is good. So we'll talk about why we need to have one. We've asked to do we have a bullying policy? And we're going to go through actually building a policy for those that don't have one in place at the moment. So that's what your bullying would look like on your hazard register, exactly the same as what it would on a hazard register for a guard missing off a piece of plant or a fall from one height to another. Should be dealt with, as I said earlier, in exactly the same way. And there's a copy of that in the bullying book that's on your desk there, on the very back page, on the folder page, on the back binding. So to have a look at the effects of bullying can have on people, causes distress, anxiety and panic, sleep disturbance, so you're never going to be at your best at the workplace, physical illness such as headaches, fatigue, digestive problems, muscular tension, a negative impact on your work performance, loss of self-esteem and feelings of isolation, deterioration in relationships with your colleagues, family and friends, leads on to depression and, worst case scenario, thoughts of suicide. So as we discussed before, it should be addressed within your main WHS system and risk controlled. And the size and complexity, again, would depend on how big your business is. A common perception, just before we get into the bullying policy itself, is that young workers and apprentices are the main victims of bullying. Yes, this group is at high risk, but you'd be surprised to know that workers between the age of 45 and 54 are at the higher end of the scale. The top affected occupations are careers and aides and health professionals. And the 5 top industries being public administration, healthcare and social assistant, education and training, retail trade and manufacturing. So let's have a look at the policy itself. It should say who the policy belongs to, so the PCBU. And the policy should, on your first point, be the commitment to your health and safety of the workplace and reduction of risk for your work health and safety, both for your workers, any contractors that come onto the site and visitors. So it's an all-round integrated system. Your commitment to complying with the requirements of the Work Health and Safety Act and regulations, and that bullying or unprofessional behaviour will not be tolerated in this workplace. And that's for anybody that comes onto the site and should be part of your induction. If you're experiencing bullying and someone has made a report, you should act promptly, treat all matters seriously, ensure fairness, be neutral. Support everybody involved and don't victimise until you have all your facts, or don't victimise then either. Communicate processes and outcomes, keep records, maintain confidentiality and maintain transparency through the whole process, and communicate this policy to everybody no matter who they are within the organisation. I'd suggest that you put in, or don't suggest, you should have in a definition for bullying, and that's the one from the Act. So bullying defined, workplace bullying is defined as repeated and unreasonable behaviour directed towards a worker or group of workers that creates a risk to health and safety. Repeated behaviour refers to precedent nature and behaviour that can involve a range of behaviours over time. A single incident of unreasonable behaviour in the workplace is not bullying. Unreasonable behaviour means behaviour that is unreasonable person, having considered all circumstances, would be unreasonable, and includes behaviour that victimises, humiliates, intimidates and threatens someone. What is not workplace bullying is reasonable management action taken by managers or supervisors to direct control in the way the work is carried out. Going on from what we heard before. So responsibilities, whose responsibility is it? Well, it's everybody's responsibility, everybody in the workplace. The PCBU should be proactive in meeting their duty of care to reduce the risk of unacceptable behaviours occurring at the workplace, and workers should be aware of their duty of care to not bully others in the workplace. Failing to take steps to manage bullying can result in a breach of the Act. Then should go on to say how the managing of the complaint will be done and how the business will respond. If workplace bullying is unreasonable behaviour is reported and observed, the following steps should be taken. A responsible manager or supervisor will speak to those involved as soon as possible, gather information and seek a resolution to satisfactory address on the issue. Point of fact being as soon as possible. All complaints and reports should be treated with the strictest confidence. Only those people directly involved in the matter or the resolution should have access to the information. What can you do? If you feel that you're being bullied and are not comfortable dealing with the problem yourself, or your attempts to do so have not been successful, you should raise the issue with your supervisor, health and safety representative or other managers within the business. You could also raise the issue with your union representative. If you witness unreasonable behaviour, you should bring that to the attention of your manager with some urgency as well. You should always have a consequence of the breach on your policy, whatever that may be. And if bullying has not been substantiated through the investigation, should still take some appropriate action in addressing the issues leading to the report. For information and support, use your EAP provider or do some training in-house. Have managers that people are comfortable to go to. To be or not to be, I can't say this strongly enough. I go to businesses all the time and they say they have policies in place but nothing's documented. If it's not written down, it hasn't happened. For peace of mind for the business, this type of stuff needs to be documented. I can't say that strongly enough. Documented, handed on at induction, signed off by everybody in the workplace. So there's some resources that are available to you. Cam's going to shoot this information out so you can grab those off there. We've given you the copy of the guide that's now available, which has got some really good information in it. And if that doesn't help, contact WorkSafe and we'll send an advisor around to visit with you and sit with you. They are able to come and visit your workplace, all free of charge, review how you're managing your safety, do a workplace walkthrough or sit and discuss issues that you have, help you identify opportunities for improvement, provide you with some useful tools to build your system, provide a report, a written report of their visit, with what they've found and what you've discussed. And always happy to attend toolbox meetings and safety meetings to help sell what it is that you want to talk about. I also provide you with a safety management toolkit, which comes in the form of a book with a heap of templates and tools in it, and a disc so with all the templates on there in Word, so you can save them off there and just fill them out to your discretion, ready to go and make your own. So they're the details for the advisory service. You can contact them through the website. Just go to the WorkSafe TAS and there's a clip there for an advisor, and that'll take you through. You can put your details in and one of the coordinators will contact you, or you can ring the helpline number and just ask to talk to Kim or Joe on that number. And that's it from me.